welcome to That's So You. My name is Diane and I'd like to thank you for joining me today. If you are a new subscriber or a new viewer, thank you for giving me a chance, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. This is the second episode of this particular podcast, but in the past I've done monthly roundup videos, and I also have some recipes and crafty tutorials that you should also check out, but not now, later on. Today we're just going to run through some of the finished objects I have. I have one whip, a few items for the Make Whips Not Waste along, hosted by Hey Brownberry, and a few goodies, but only one of them is physically with me. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start with FOs. The first FO I have is a design project. It's one I showed you slightly in the first episode, which was a couple of weeks ago, and it is this. It's a cowl and it is called Join the Crew. The best way to see it is if I do this. Isn't it lovely? I'll give you a closer look. It's made using short rows. The yarn I've used, the one on top and bottom for the borders, is Lamington Lass Soft Sock, I think it is, in the Ichabod colourway, and the triangles, for that I've used minis from Third Vault yarns. The colourways are Pilot, Captain Tight Pants, Companion and Reader. Yeah, I absolutely love this. I would put it on, but I don't know if I can get it on over my scarf. I'll try a little later, see if I can. There's still a few ends sticking out. I've knitted, they've been worked in as I've been knitting. I just need to snip the ends off. Yeah, as I said, this is a design project. I haven't finished writing up the pattern yet. I have it written down in rough notes, but I haven't done the actual proper pattern yet. I'm hoping to finish that by next week, or hopefully by the end of this week, but most likely next week. And then once that's done, I'll put it up for testing. I think this is a great project for anyone who wants to use up minis or leftovers, because each of these triangles uses up about 5 to 6 grams of 4-ply yarn, and the borders used up, I think it was about 8 grams of yarn. So it's a great project for any leftovers you have, and I think it's also a great idea to just group either random yarns and colorways together, or to put them together in sort of like a theme. And I've initially called this Join the Crew because all these yarns I use were part of the Firefly Club package from Third Vault Yarns. And also I'm going to do an Intarsia version, and the yarns I'm using for that are also part of the same theme, but I'll show you that in a moment. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a cough. The other FO I have, you might have noticed, I did want to record him on Monday, but I wanted to have this finished before I do. Those of you who saw the last episode would know what this is. This is the Blue Sands cardigan. I finally finished it. Okay, let me see if I can stand up this chair so you can get a better look. You can see the pockets here. I absolutely love the pockets, the way they are worked. Okay, pockets again. And again, these ends, I've knitted them in. I've knitted the ends in as I've gone along. I just haven't snipped off the ends. But yeah, I really like this. The back is, let's show you the back. It's just the same. It's difficult to show you properly. Oh, that's Little Miss. Yeah, it's difficult to show you fully what it looks like this, but once I've snipped off everything, I will try and take a better picture and either put it in here or I'll post it in the Ravelry group. There is a Ravelry group for, hold on, let me check on her. We've just got back from the shops a few minutes ago. It's been, excuse me, it's been a bit of a long-winded morning. Last night she was playing in my bag, took out my purse and was playing around with the cards. So I took that off her and placed it behind one of the picture frames and forgot to put it back in my bag this morning. So got to the shops, I wanted to buy a notebook before going to the supermarket and realised that my purse wasn't there. Walked home, which was maybe a 15-20 minute walk, got my purse, decided to take the bus back to the shop. Waiting at the bus stop for about 10-15 minutes, the bus still isn't there. Checked on the app to see when the bus would be arriving. It says that the bus is maybe about 10 minutes away, so I just thought, forget it, I'll get the notebook tomorrow. So then just walked to the supermarket, quickly did everything, came back, and here we are. Yeah, also she's not feeling too good, so she just wants to be carried a lot at the moment. You still sleepy? Yeah? You sleepy or you smiling? I can see you're trying not to smile. She kind of wants to sleep, but at the same time she trying not to smile. Alright, can I continue? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Hey, right, so where was I? Yeah, so Blue Sands. Forgot what I was saying about this now. Yeah, so I finished it a couple of days ago. I just need to snip off all those ends. So once I've done that, I'll be able to take a proper picture of it. I am happy with it, though, two things. It seems like it's a little bit longer than I would imagine it should be, just because of where the pockets are placed. If I could, I would stand up and show you what I mean. But looking at the picture, the original picture of it, and comparing that, where my hands are positioned compared to the model of the picture, it looks like it's about the same. But the way the front neckband is positioned looks higher than my one. So I'm not sure if it's just the shaping or maybe my one is a little bit longer. Also, I accidentally worked the bust shaping lower than it should have. I don't know what I was doing. I was looking at the picture and trying to place it in the same section, but I was doing it based on the colour blocks for the stripes, and I thought I had it positioned where it's supposed to go. It's a paid for pattern, so I don't want to give too many details about where it's supposed to go. And so it's only when I finished it and I was trying it on, I realised that it was a bit lower. Though in terms of how it looks, I don't mind, because if I were to add buttons to it, it would just look like it's been increased to allow for buttons. So it looked like it's just a little wider to be a button band. So that's not so bad, but I'm just wondering if maybe the difference in length is because of the way that's shaped. But other than that, I am very, very happy with it. I wouldn't really mind making another one, but if I did, I would definitely make the body a bit shorter. I'd work fewer rows in each of the colour stripe sections, and I'd also maybe use go down a needle size for the sleeves. The sleeves are a little bit baggy. I know it's supposed to have positive ease, but I'm not sure exactly how I'll mainly use this, whether it will mainly be a cardigan that I wear around the house, or if it's something that I use more as a jacket once the weather gets warmer. If it's for wearing around the house, then I would prefer the sleeves to be a little tighter. If it's just for going out and about as a cooler jacket, then this would be fine, because then I have the option to wear a long sleeve underneath it. But we'll see. But definitely, if I make another one, I will position the shaping along the neckband correctly. I think that would be the only they would be the only changes I would make, and I would probably go for more of a grey colourway, similar to the picture that I showed some time ago of the there's one picture in the project page for this that's 2 tones of grey, one lighter, one darker, and this blue section is more of a bright green. So I'll do something similar to that if I do make it again. Okay, the next two, oh yes, this is made by, okay, the name, excuse me for butchering it, it's La Maison Rilili, something like that, that's the name of the person who designed it. And I use Debbie Bliss Eco Baby, which is a cotton yarn. If I do another one, I won't do one in cotton, I'll use wool. Yeah, I don't really like working with cotton so much, so I would go for a wool version. Yeah, if there's anything else I've forgotten about this, I'll put it up on the screen. My next two finished objects relate to more of a fun charity type thing, and it relates to a cowl that I was thinking of doing. They are these. Oh, okay, I'll do one at a time. They are mini hats, which are part of the Innocent Drinks Big Knit 2017. I'm sure if you have Innocent Drinks in the area, or wherever you live, you would see that sometimes they sell them with small hats on top. And then what happens is every 25 pence, 25 pence goes from each of those bottles sold, goes towards Age UK, which is a charity that helps the elderly. So they ask knitters to make these hats in order for them to be placed on top of their bottles. So I made this one yesterday. I used Third Volt Yarns Echo DK in the Serenity colourway. I just have some leftover of that from a previous project. And this is yarn I got from the Simply Knitting magazine. They had some yarn inside there, so I used that to make this, and it's got a little pom-pom on top. Yeah, these are very quick to make. I'll put the details of the Innocent website in the description box, so anyone who wants to take part can just get more information there. But what I wanted to do was, sorry, one moment. Okay, what I wanted to do was to have a cowl to make these. I was planning on trying to do at least 2 a week. I believe they want them to be in by July, but if that's not correct, again, I'll put the details on the screen somewhere. So I was thinking if I do at least 2 a week, then I'll have a nice bundle to send off to them. So I thought it would make a great cowl, but the issue is, I know they do this, well, I'm guessing they do this throughout Europe. I've seen a few things on Instagram, I think, from other countries in Europe relating to it. Yeah, I thought it would be great if to have a cowl where people would just make as many as they could, and then when it's time, just send them off to their own local centre that's receiving them. Again, for people in the UK, I'll put a link for where you can get details of where they need to be sent. But for internationals, those outside of Europe, I'm not sure if there's anything similar going on. So I was thinking of, I sent them an email to ask if there is anything else similar in other countries, but I haven't received a response yet. So I was thinking that if I can do 2 FO threads, one for these hats for anybody who wants to take part in this, and another one for those outside of Europe, or those even within Europe who don't necessarily want to make these, and whereby they could instead make hats or booties for premature babies, and then they could be they could be donated to local hospitals to use on the neonatal wards, just to help keep newborns nice and cozy. I know CC Ullman of the Geeky Girls podcast makes Premiere hats every week, and she then sends them off. So what I will do is look for, see if I can find, I think she has her own pattern. I'm not sure if it's her own pattern or a pattern that she follows. So I will look for patterns that could be used for booties and hats for premature babies, and post a link in the description box and in the show notes and in the Ravelry group. And there, so that way if you do want to take part in that, you have the patterns there, and then just get in contact with your local hospital. I can't imagine that any neonatal ward wouldn't welcome donations of hats and things like that for newborns. So yeah, I thought that would be a great thing to do, just to have a fun cowl to do. And with these being so tiny, yeah, it's not something that's going to take a lot of time. I'm not sure how long it took to do this, but it was no time at all to make these. So yeah, this would run until sometime the end of June. I haven't finalised everything yet. It's only in the past week I've been thinking of this. Okay, sorry. This would run to the end of June. There will be prizes for each of the threads. But again, I haven't finalised all of that. So what I will do is spend the rest of this week finalising everything, and hopefully by Monday have details up in the Ravelry group. And yeah, the Ravelry group is called Mrs. You Makes. I am Mrs. You Makes on most social media, Instagram and Facebook. And on Ravelry, I'm YummyTripletMummy, and yeah, so either YummyTripletMummy and Mrs. You Makes is what you can find me as online. And yeah, so check out the Ravelry group for more details on the cowl, and also, you know, come along, join the group, share your finished projects, your whips, get chatting to each other. Hold on, yeah. Just relax, alright? Yeah, so they are the only finished objects I have. yes, that's all I have in terms of finished objects. Let's see if we can get through quickly so she can settle a bit more. Now whips, I only have one whip. Okay, so the only whip I have is the intarsia version of the Join the Crew cowl. Yeah, this is all I've done so far. Where's this the front? Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with this or I'm going to stop, because the let me show you again. The stitches don't seem to be so defined in comparison with this one. And I'm not sure. With this I used 3mm needles, and I've been trying to use the same with this, but it doesn't seem to be coming out as well. I'm going to continue until I've done the more of this motif there. Once I've done more of the motif, I know you can't see it so well because of the lighting, then I will decide whether to rip back. I was initially going to use the same yarn, but I want to use this to the remainder of this for something else. This is Nora George 50 Shades of Blue. I used this to make a pair of socks, and I'm actually wearing those socks. And the stitch definition was amazing with this, but for that I used 2.25 needles, so it may just be the needle size, and I'm not going to go lower on the needle size for this because that would affect the stitch count, and I don't want to increase the stitch count as this. I want the two cowls to be similar in how they are made up. So if this doesn't work out, I will have to put the intarsia one on hold for a moment until I get yarn that will work. Either going back to Lamington Lass and getting another colorway, or something else. The yarns I have at home, each one has a purpose, so I wouldn't be able to just use some of it for this, so hopefully that will work out. What I'm going to use for the triangles, as I mentioned before, it's another themed set. This one again is from Third Vault Yarns, and this is the Discord set, so I'm going to use these for the triangles in the intarsia version. So I'll just have to wait until maybe tomorrow. I'll work on it some more today, but by the end of the day I should have decided whether or not I will continue with it. That's all I have in terms of whips. Another sort of whip I have is more of a long-term one. Last episode I spoke about, I showed you my mitered square blankets, and I spoke about the fact that many people were doing the crochet granny striped blanket, and how it wasn't really a project for me. And I also mentioned that I had one I had started some time ago, many years ago, and Mars, who is Hey Brownberry, hi Mars, asked me to show it to you. So this is the ripple blanket. I can't remember where I got the pattern from. It may have been, actually, hold on, that was upside down. It may have been Ravelry or somewhere else. These things here are just to let me know when I need to decrease. As you can see, it is very long. Yeah, So it's just the way the pattern is work going back and forth, back and forth. It's one of those ones that just seems too long for me, getting to the end of the row, and yeah, so it's not, I'm not going to excuse me, I'm not going to frog it, but it will just be there. So if ever maybe I have absolutely nothing to do and I want to keep my hands busy, I've at least got this. Might be great for a plane ride. So yeah, I'm not completely giving up on it, but it's definitely something that's way down on the list of finishing off projects. But you never know, one day I might decide I want to get it done. Speaking of whips, I mentioned earlier the okay? There's still more in there. What's up? Sorry. Oh, she's eating yogurt. What's up? You want to take your shoes off? Hold on. She actually wanted the second pot of yogurt that I had on the box in front of me. I've got the tablet on a stand on top of the Triplet's toy box, which is a massive box. Yeah, so she's working her way through that now. Yeah, as I was saying, make whips not waste. I think I showed last episode a jumper that I got picked up at a charity shop, which was this. And I said I was going to rip out the yarn and use it for something else. So I've done half of it. There's still this left. And I have many different sort of skeins of it. I don't know. It's the colour's kind of like this, but a bit more on the grey side. I have quite a few. I just made rough skeins of these. Sections of this were difficult to rip out just because of the way it had been seamed together. Around the neckline it had been, I don't know if this is normal for garments, but it had been seamed together using the yarn and then seamed together using thread. And the way it had been done, it was difficult to see whether I was actually cutting the yarn that had been used to seam it together or if I was cutting through the stitches. So there was one section where I realised I had actually been cutting through the stitches, and that was mainly the collar section, so I've just left that aside. So I've just got the back and the portion of the sleeves to do, and I'll probably leave that until next week sometime. Mr. Yu goes back to doing nights next week, so then it'll be easier for me to just do it at night whilst everyone is asleep without any disturbances, and I can do it a bit later than I normally would. Yeah, and another item I want to use for the make whips not to waste along is this I think it's called an adaptable poncho. The pattern is by Berger de France, and the yarn is Cocoon from them as well. I made this also a long time ago, but I didn't do a gauge thingy before I did, so it came out a bit smaller than it was supposed to. The item itself is amazing. Okay, so I didn't make a a gauge swatch, and it came out smaller than I'd anticipated. And also the colour, it didn't really suit me. When I bought this, the colour I wanted is the one that was in the original picture, which is green. But they didn't have that. And this was really the only other one I had that I liked. But okay, she's back with me now. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the colour didn't really suit me so much, and I've never actually worn this as it's made to be worn. It has buttons on it, and you can. The idea is you can wear it in. You can wear it in various different ways, but none of those ways actually suited me because of the fit and the colour. I'm gonna take it off. Because of the fit and the colour, none of those ways suited me. So I came up with my own way of wearing it, and that's what led to the idea of the Diamante shrug, which is one of my crochet designs. And yeah, so I think it is just a waste having it there. And recently, sometime before Christmas actually, I discovered that there are, it is a bit moth eaten. Yeah, so I might as well just rip it out and use it for something else. I may, I had initially thought to make something for Little Miss, but it's not very skin soft, it's a bit scratchy on the skin, so, and it's not my colour, but what I might do is make something for the Triplettes. One of them, yesterday I was showing Mr. U this cardigan. I think it was Jimmy Jr. He asked if I could make them a cardigan, so I might rip this out and then use it to make them a cardigan, and then whatever's left over I'll then use maybe for something for Little Miss, possibly, if it's something that can be worn with other stuff underneath it. Yeah, so yeah, the Make Whips Not to Waste Cal, as I said, is being hosted by Mars, who is Hey Brownberry, and she has the Brownberry Chronicles podcast. So go over there and check it out to get more details on that. It's all about using, finding a new use or new purpose for things that you have. So it doesn't necessarily have to be knitted items. It could be anything that you turn from one thing into something else. So yeah, head over to her group and check that out to get more details. Okay, I think we are on to goodies now. As I said before, I've only got one physical goodie. Oh, sorry. I've only got... No, thank you. You have it. I don't want it. Good, have a luck. Good luck. This is how I got my cough, and I'm starting to get a cold because she insists on popping it in my mouth all the time, even though I don't want it. Yeah, so I've only have one actual physical goodie. The rest, two of them are, well, the other two are digital goodies. The first is a shawl pattern that I purchased. It's, I'm just bringing up a picture of it. It's the Blown Glass Shawl by Lola, who is the dyer behind Third Vault Yarns. I don't want it. You can take it back now. Yeah, you might find it funny, but I don't want your cold. Yeah. Okay, this is a picture of it. Yeah. I do want to try and get started on this this month. So, okay, Sorry for the interruption. We just got a video call from Mr. U. But yes, getting back to where we are. So I do want to try and make this sometime this month. It's just finding the right yarn. I want to use the remainder from this on it, and then pair that up with some probably black or grey yarn. I'll just show you an example. There's one example here that someone's made. Oh, sorry. Come on. There's one example here someone has done. Oh my goodness. Done, which I think looks really nice. So I want this to hold on. I want this to be paired with the black and grey. Sorry. It's just whenever I've seen a yarn that I've liked, it's been out of stock. So I'm just hoping I can get some before the end of the month so I can get started on that. So that's a little bit of waiting in the wings there. The next goodie I have, again, as I said, it's another digital goodie, excuse me, is a prize as well. It's from the Serenova Crafts podcast, which is hosted by Jessica, and the prize was her sock pattern, which is called Harvest Grain. Yeah, so it is a really nice sock pattern. Yeah, and I will make that at some point. I'm not sure when, but yeah, I will definitely make that at some point. My last goodie, which is yarn, is this. Again, from Third Lot Yarns. This is Tesseract Lace. It's 55% Blue Face Leicester, 45% silk. 600 meters per 100 grams, and the colorway is Inara. This, that's a really nice representation, I would say, of the color. Oh, sorry, baby. Yeah, this was a custom order. I was just going through Etsy, realised I still had a bit of my yarn budget left. I hadn't actually bought any yarn at this point. Most of my budget went more towards the notebooks and things like that. And I just decided, let me just buy something. And at the time I was already on Lola's shop site, so I just picked myself this. I had initially planned to use it to make the Hint of Summer sweater by Isabel Kramer, but I didn't realise when I got it that it has silk in it, and I think I read somewhere that silk does pill a lot, and I have two other yarns, items I've made with silk. One was the Rainer shawl, which is 100% mulberry silk, and I can see areas where it could potentially start pilling. The other is the Sunwalker shawl, which is 50-50, I think it's merino silk. And again, the section where I can see that where I can see there's a potential for that to pill. So I don't know if I will use this still for that top. I would need to pair it with another colour. I was thinking possibly grey. That would definitely go with this. So yeah, just wait and see. If I do find anything that I really like to pair with it, I might still go ahead and make that top. If not, I'll just hold on to it and use it for something else. Yeah, so they're all my goodies. Moving on to waiting in the wings, I mentioned already, hold on, I mentioned already the, what was it, the blown glass shawl. The other two items I would want to do this that I want to work on next. One is to make another version of the Afia blanket. I might have mentioned this before. I made one. It's a free blanket. It's a free pattern. I want to redo it and just work on the actual design itself. I started to do another version of it on a larger scale, but it wasn't working out, so I'm just going to go back and just redo the original, but just fix a few areas. Another thing I want to work on again is another design project I had that I started. It was going to be a vest pattern, and I'd worked part of it, but then the shaping and the drape just wasn't right. So it's been sitting there for a while, and I decided to just make it into an oversized cowl or infinity scarf. So I need to rip it. I could actually use it as it is, but I need to actually rip out the stitches, because the tension is tight, so it doesn't drape very well. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, but just work it on a larger crochet hook, and also possibly make it wider as well. I don't have it here with me. That's the one thing I forgot to bring out to show you. Yeah, so they're the only sort of specific or set things that I have waiting in the wings. There's a few other things I would want to get started on, but so there's nothing else that's really specified yet. Okay, so I'll pack these things away and we'll move on to the word for the month. Now we're on to the word for the month. This is the part of the podcast where I share some scripture. Now, if this isn't for you, then that's fine. You're more than welcome to stop here, and I'll see you again next time. As I said, there are other videos available to watch from previous roundups, and I have some craft and recipe videos as well. I am hoping, and I'm going to try very hard to do a recording on Friday of part 2 of the beaded dome ring tutorial. It's a tutorial I posted up a long time ago, and I just haven't had the chance to do the second part, so I'm aiming for Friday to get that finished off. So yeah, if you're not staying around, thank you for joining us, and I will see you next time. If you are staying, the word for the month is taken from James chapter 1 verse 22. Be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. What this verse is basically saying is that when relating specifically, first of all, to just scripture, if you say that you are a believer and you're reading the Bible, you're doing all the studying, but all you're doing is just gaining knowledge but not actually acting upon what you're studying or learning, then it's basically saying that it's pointless. You're just deceiving yourself, because you're not actually putting what you are learning into practice and putting it into a general sense. So it's like somebody, let's say for example in knitting, you could be someone who's interested in knitting. You read a ton of knitting books, knitting tutorials, pattern books, but you don't actually go and pick up. Come on, I'll carry you then. Come on. You don't actually pick up a pair of knitting needles and knit. You're just reading one book after another, going through one book after another? Can you actually at that point say that you're a knitter or that you know how to knit when you haven't put those things into practice? Reading this, just because lately I'd really wanted to do more, have more of a focused Bible study time. So as part of my Christmas present, there was a book I wanted to buy. That book wasn't exactly what I wanted, so Mr. Yu just said, just hold on to the money, and when you see what you want, you can pick that up. So I did find the book I wanted, which is this, the Advanced Bible Course, Study in the Deeper Life. Sorry, I'm reading this backwards, by E.W. Kenyon. I haven't gone fully into it yet, but from what I've read, it is a great book, and each of the chapters sort of divided into lessons, and at the end of each lesson there are questions for you to, thank you, oh gosh, sorry, thank you. At the end of each lesson there are questions for you to answer, so I thought it would be great to really use this as a study guide, and that's what I wanted. Okay, we're almost done now, yeah? That's what I wanted the notebook for, so I can use it to actually have a proper study journal to take notes and things like that. But after the mishap this morning, I'm going to have to pick that up tomorrow instead. So yeah, so this just wanted me, just reading this verse wanted me to go into that more, and also it's a I'd read something similar somewhere else, but then when I read that the verse I've just read is actually in the first lesson of this book. I'd read something similar before, and then when I read it here, I thought, okay, definitely this is what I need to do. So I thought I'd share that today, just to encourage anybody who is has in mind to do something, but just as that encouragement that it's okay to read and read and read and study, but to put it into practice, to actually get any use out of it, you need to put it into practice. So for me to just be reading my Bible and reading it is fine, but unless I'm really studying it, taking it in, having an understanding, and then putting it into practice, it's pointless. So for me, doing this is like a step into that, setting out that time for me to properly study, and then after doing that, putting what I've studied into practice, passing that information on to others, things like that, just preparing myself for things, because at our church, Mr. Yu and myself are leaders in our church, where it's a very, 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 very small ministry, and we are leaders. I usually facilitate the Bible study, though I'm not the person who's always leading it. Mr. Yu sometimes leads it, but he's also called upon to teach during Sunday service. He actually spoke a message this Sunday, so it's just one of those things of getting myself prepared. So when it is my turn to lead a Bible study, I have something kind of ready. I'm not wondering what to speak on or what to present, or looking at previous options. And also, every month we have a question and answer session for our Bible studies, and sometimes I'm trying to think of questions to put forward. So also doing this is a way to help me get prepared to have questions to put forward to people for us to discuss. So I'm just encourage you that if there is anything that you're doing or anything you wish to do, not to just stop at taking in information and just stopping at the studying, but also take a step forward and become a doer of something, rather than just a hearer or a listener or a reader of something. Okay, so I think I'll just leave it at that for this episode, because the little miss wants a bit more attention. and also may want something to eat and drink. Yeah, as I said before, check out the other videos. Head over to the Ravelry Group. Look out for information on the Big Knit cowl. I'll put details, as I said, in the description box and on the Ravelry Group, and also on the show notes, which can be found at mrsyoumakes.blogspot.com. Yeah, I'm Mrs. You Makes. I am Yummy Triplet Mummy, and I will see you next time. Bye.